Oh, hi, good morning, or welcome to the day, wherever you are, whatever time it is. You caught me daydreaming. I was looking at the snow. It's falling and it's so beautiful. I'm always mesmerized by snow when it falls. They're big, fluffy flakes. Absolutely beautiful. Hi, I'm glad you're here. We're going to be painting today. We're going to be spending 15 or 20 minutes just putting some stuff down on paper. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Go ahead and grab your coffee. I'm drinking tea. And I thought, let's go ahead and get started and see what shows up today. Process has been really fun, and I hope you've been enjoying it as well. I think creating your own coloring book and having the chance to showcase what you can do and what you can create is a really fun thing. And you get to see all the ways you get to express yourself, which is, a great thing to see. So every day we start with Canson XL paper and we start with our Prang Oval 16 because you can get it at most places. And I think that's viable and easy for everyone. So wet your paints always before you start, at least, a couple of minutes because you want to have them kind of juicy and wet so that they will spread better. And if you're ready, let's turn the page and see what shows up today on this coloring book adventure. The flowers were fun yesterday, so maybe the theme of flowers will continue. Just having the opportunity to escape through drawing and creating and seeing what you can make. I had an incredible opportunity to meet someone yesterday, and I don't know, I think she said she was on social media, but I'll have to look. So our local community is doing a whole downtown redevelopment, and so there's a lot of businesses that are going into places that have been rather dilapidated over the years. And this woman decided to open up her dream, which was an art space where she does her art and sells it, but she also does other things like engraving of wood pieces and things like that. And I stopped in yesterday because I was just mesmerized by her window and seeing all of the art that she had created, and it was really magnificent. I just got so excited to see someone completely and thoroughly embracing their dream, so I had to go in and just share with her how much joy it brought me. And maybe in the future there will be some workshops that I might be involved with her. I don't know, but she was really fun. Our energy really clicked. So I just, when you meet someone who feels like part of your tribe, and what she was explaining, that the whole reason that she created this space, so she has her one studio space, which is her business space. But then she had this whole back room area that she wasn't really doing anything with it. So what she decided to do with it instead is open it up, and she's going to create like a tea lounge in the back, but it's also a space for creative play. So she's been having different people show up doing workshops, and the other day they did this incredible workshop where they did crayons and then they melted them and made artwork with it. And what I love about it is she approaches things the same way I do. No expectation. You don't show up with an expectation. You don't, it's not like one of those paint and sip parties or anything like that. She just gives you a little direction of what you're going to do, how to use the product, and then you're left on your own to create. And wow, to have someone who speaks your language, who gets what you talk about all the time, that was pretty remarkable. It was a very, very connective experience because it made me feel like, wow. And I consider her an artist because she is fully engaged and she creates every day, but she's making art and she's engaging other people in making art, and she calls herself an artist. So I think that's it. Because I often speak here about, are you an artist or a creative? And people argue with me that if you create every day and you have a desire to create every day, then that makes you an artist. Okay, you're an artist. But for me, I think personally, and this is just personally for me, my definition of an artist is someone who lives, eats, and breathes art consistently. Like their livelihood is based on art. Everything they do of their waking moment is invested in, involved in art. And that's not me. I think I have more of a mindset of mindfulness about the way I approach life and things. I think I'm mindful. But I don't think that I look at everything as art all the time. I see beauty in things, but I don't necessarily see art in everything. But I have a friend, several friends actually, who are artists. And they, I will tell you, are fully engaged in art, completely and fully engaged in the experience of art. And when I say that, I mean they eat, breathe, and sleep. They dream art, they dream of things that they could make and that they could do. I was just having a conversation with one of them, and he was saying, he doesn't have enough hours in the day to create all of the things that he wants to do. And so now he's thinking about bringing in other people who are also artisans to help him realize some of his dreams. And then I realized, that's what the masters did. The masters didn't create all of those pieces. It's like working in a big hair salon, right? You work for a really big fancy hair salon that has a top-notch stylist there. Well, that top-notch stylist may come over and deal with a client for maybe 5 minutes, touch them, trim, do a little something, something. They maybe do a whole haircut, but the rest of the time it's done by the assistants and by the other staff. And so, I think that for my friend, I said to him, if you have the ability and there are enough, he's in an environment where there's a lot of young people who need to have an outlet for creating. And he has a really amazing way of connecting to young people. He sees them and understands them in an amazing way. And it might be because he's a dad. He just has 2 little kids. And he's an amazing human. I adore him. And I suggested to him, maybe you want to go ahead and take that experience of who you are and how you connect with people and use that possibly with those young adults to inspire and motivate them and then create a team from them. And young people are full of energy. They love to create, they love to do. And I think when you're young, there's more desire, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think that when you're young, you have desire to create. And now that I'm 60, of course, you want to create when you're old too, because you want to see what you still have left in you. And I think maybe when you're young, you're doing it more of the dreams and places that you hope to go. I don't know. I could be totally wrong on all of that and just completely and thoroughly making stuff up. Who knows? What I do know is that in the experience of creating, it allows you to get away and it allows you to escape and it allows you to see what you can do. And always seeing what you can do is, gosh, what a joy. What a joy to see what your individuality can create when you just take a little time to be involved in the process of creating. Because like Vicky Art is the name of her business, was saying in our conversation yesterday, everyone's creative. Everyone has a creative streak in them. It's just they don't give themselves permission to be creative because you show up with all this expectation of what it's supposed to be and who it's supposed to look like, and you get into that role of comparisоnism. Your art is your art. It belongs to you, it expresses you, and it is beautiful because you made it. That's the important thing to always remember. When you create the art, it's your beauty, it's your expression of how you use nonverbal communication to see the world. Oh, here we go. They're loud. I know that I realize now why he is squelching. So my partner turns on the humidifier and it makes this beeping noise, or he'll turn on the toaster. Let's stop that. Stop that. And when he does that, it starts the boy downstairs going off, which then starts Helios going off. So enjoy the rest of our time listening to that for the next, 7 or 8 minutes, because it will continue. And I will go down and let him know once again. When you have a partner, sometimes life is funny. Life is funny. I'm not going to finish what I was going to say. It's not necessary. But all I'll say is life is funny. You never know the road that it's going to take. You never know how it's going to show up or where you're going to show up in it. So Vicky and I, anyway, to finish that conversation, we're talking about that every single person has a creative ability, and you have to give yourself permission to be creative and not spend time comparing yourself to other people, because you are a creative human being. You were put here to create. And so however you show up creating is what's going to work for you and be wonderful and spectacular. I have to say, this whole behavior of him screeching like this is a new thing, and it's exceptionally, it raises my blood pressure, and his pitch that he squelches at really hurts my ears. So I have to figure out how to fix this and how to change this. I let him out of his cage 5-6 hours a day. I can't let him out when my partner's around because he attacks my partner and wants to be next to him, and my partner does not like him. Helios is fine. Helios hangs out. He squelches once in a while. But the other one is incessant. And he's angry that Helios isn't with him because Helios is usually in the cage with him. But he was tearing up his feathers and just literally mauling him the other day. And I was like, I don't need an incident. I don't need an incident with them. So I don't know if he's hormonal, what his situation is. He has toys. He has playtime. He has time out of the cage. I don't know. I spend 2-3 hours a day with him on his own. So I really don't know what his issue is, other than he's angry that he's not out harassing Helios. And that would be Emerald. So it's kind of... Ooh. So I have a meeting with someone next week who is a bird professional, and we're going to talk about it and figure out what we're going to do. But I do love them both. It's just this recent behavior is just... It's just really loud. And like I said yesterday, I believe, as I've gotten older, sound is really does a number on me. I love that you spent time with me and that we're creating together and having this interaction. seeing what can be made, what shows up, what kind of fun is here waiting to express itself. You know, spring is around the corner here in the United States. I say that, it's like literally like still 2 months away, 3 months away. I don't know. I'm not trying to rush things along, but I'm for some reason excited about the growing season this year. It just feels, maybe because I have all of my seeds that I'm going to be planting this year that I saved, and I just want to see how if the garden will become full and flourished and just, you know, abundant in blooms because of all the seeds that I saved, and if I plant them all and if they propagate. I'm just excited to see what's going to show up with that. So, are you gardening this year? Do you have plans to garden or do something in the gardening world? Or is that not your thing? I garden outside because I'm not very good at the garden inside. The houseplants thing, horrible at it. Horrible. I made a amaryllis go throughout the season though. My partner picked it up and it ended up having 10 blooms on it this year. He got it at one of those big box places, was walking by and saw it on the shelf that he was there for something else, and he picked it up for me, and I thought that was really kind. And it ended up doing 10 blooms, and he was overwhelmed with it. He was like, oh my gosh, and he took pictures of it. It was really funny. It's actually the first time I've ever seen such excitement over a plant from him, so that was fun. I think he was excited because he got it like a really great deal. It was like a crazy one-day super deal, and he got it, and he thought, it's not going to do anything, and it ended up producing. And I told him, well, when you show up without expectations, that's where you can have evidence that the most amazing things can happen. And that only happens when you show up without expectations. So having no expectation over those flowers and how they were going to show up, or that amaryllis and how it was going to show up, was pretty amazing. Connect all those and make sure that they have a little big green background around them somewhat, if I could. I don't know why green was important, but today green was the color, with all those little flowers hanging out, you hanging out, us hanging out, creating together and seeing what shows up, and remembering that each one of us is a creative and we are here to create. So I trust that you take the time to find your creative flow today, whatever that is, whether it's painting, cooking, gardening, house cleaning, doing whatever you do. However that activity shows up for you today, I trust that you fully embrace the experience and that you enjoy being present in the creating, because when we create, we get to do the most amazing things in our brains. We get to fire off things, and we get to have new neurons expressed, and we just get to see the joy of what we get to create in the time that we get to be together. So I think it's a win-win for everyone. And you know, I always say, investing in yourself is the best investment. You can invest in others, but investing in you has really great returns. Really incredible returns, actually. So thanks for being here with me again. I enjoy us hanging out together, creating art, seeing what's in us, seeing what shows up as we color together in our coloring book phase. Creating your own coloring book is you making your own space to see what you can create in the time that we're working through this season of our art. I'm Samaj. This is Creating with Samaj. It was a pleasure being here with you today. I look forward to seeing you the next time. Wherever you are, I trust you have an amazing day. And until then,